Few words about the methodology that we used to calculate the last question. So, Alexander, would you like to help me here? So what do we
Yeah,
have? We have two links here.
easy. So first of all, yeah, this thing. So this document is explaining us, okay, you're showing the app. Let's talk about first about the document. In this document, you can see a few methodology how to calculate the actual power consumptions from any LLM. There is a one methodology from community and another one from Altman, Steven Altman, right? Sorry, Sam Altman. Um, Actually, the methodology from community uh, give you a bit more high result than from
Well,
Steve.
I think
Sorry,
it's
for
15
Sam.
times higher, right?
Yeah, but then actually I don't so trust him because he kind of protect his children,
Yeah,
right?
he is interested in providing lower numbers
Correct.
here.
Yeah, and in our quiz we use the community formula to calculate the actual consumption. Basically, what is it about? So it tries to calculate how many energy do you need to spend for one token. And when you know how many token you received from the LLM, you can calculate the actual consumption. Of course, it is not a precise, but something around it. It heavily depends from model, so on, but at least it gives you so understanding how many energy you need to do something. In our case, you see that to generate 5 images, we have to spend, uh, I don't remember how exactly, 6 watts
Well,
or something around it.
yeah,
No, sorry,
if it's 10 minutes, then
yeah, 10 watts. Yeah,
600
yeah,
watts.
10 watts.
Oh no, sorry, it's per hour. Yeah.
And how much energy was spent to generate these instructions because they seems generated?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Uh,
But anyway, and another thing, it is the app for Google Chrome, and it does exactly what is mentioned in this document. It unfortunately works only with the ChatGPT and only in the Chrome. But yeah, show the video. You will see the small pop-up in the top of the chat, and when you know, start processing your query, it will calculate how many energy you consumed to generate the answer. Pretty, pretty interesting thing. Just funny.
yeah, I mean this is very
Uh,
interesting because
Here they're complaining, they're comparing the result with a elevator. How many stage you will be able to up with the elevator with this energy equivalent. It's so funny. So, for example, in this concrete situation, you can up into 5 stages or 7 stages, right?
yes, seven messages. Two,
So
yes,
small.
sixth floor.
6 floor. Okay. So yeah, you have to choose generate answer or up to 6 floors with the elevator.
Yes, so the conclusion here is that we should be a little bit more responsible with this Gen AI, and maybe instead of asking really silly question like what is the date, what is the temperature, and etc., we should use like precise tools that consume much less energy, provide precise answers, and we should really utilize our brain when we need just to do like basic calculations, because this is not for free for sure. All these queries under the hood, there is a huge energy consumption. Okay, so instead of going through the latest updates, we just decided today to recap like the most significant events that happened over the year, and we picked up some that are the most relevant for each of us. And I think we will start from this one, announcing of .NET 10. I think that was your pick, Volodya,
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely. But from my perspective, it was one of most significant. things of this year. Another one was a release of Visual Studio 2026, because personally for me it looks light years ahead of previous one in terms of performance and like how smooth it feels and works. And yeah, it kind of powers .NET 10, because without it you cannot use it on Visual Studio 2024 or 2022, for example. And yeah, big release, long-term support version, which brings a lot of new capabilities, performance improvements, optimizations, which is very important on a big scale because it allows you to reduce your costs. We start, like on my current project, we started to migrate to .NET 10, but we didn't run a lot of tests yet, so I cannot share the results yet about
So
how
maybe
it can improve. But I have a link to an article from Ian Griffiths, author of C# book, where he shares info on like how much performance he achieved by just upgrading his encoding decoding library to .NET 10 in comparison with .NET 9, and without changing anything he achieved 7% boost. And by the way, his library was already heavily optimized and spanified, so it just kind of for free for him. And he posts such articles once a year. It's kind of tradition for him. He started from .NET 6, and as you can see, it was like 20, 19, 27, 9, and now it's only 7% of performance boost.
Okay, but still, if it is for free, then that's not too bad, right?
Yeah, he just bumped version of .NET in his CSProsh files and rerun benchmarks. And the thing is that he runs these benchmarks on his old hardware. And from my personal experience, the newer your hardware, the more performance boost you can get, because newer version of runtime can use more CPU optimizations, which are available only in new CPU versions.
So what else in .NET 10 we can highlight? So what was your like favorite feature apart from Visual Studio and the performance? For me, it was it is file-based app. I really like it.
Yeah, and hopefully it was released like in generally available version originally, but it was not the case. It's still in development. It's available in preview and only in Visual Studio Code. Hopefully it will be available soon in Visual Studio. It's good that it's nice that they tried to release it in a big release, but seems like they started to work on it too late in the release cycle. Usually they start doing such significant changes early, like in preview 1, 2, 3, but not on preview 7 or release candidate 1.
But anyway, now if you, let's say, use an Aspire, then one of the templates that you can get, it is just a file-based Aspire project, which in case if you, let's say, a Python developer and you just generate an Aspire template and you get just one file, I think that's a very nice thing, because if you're a Python developer, you probably don't want to see all the CSProsh, SLNX files and etc. that you can't do anything with.
Yeah, you just want import and run and call it a day.
Exactly. Yeah.
2 lines of code.
Yeah, I agree. So that .NET 10 was a really big release, and Visual Studio is awesome. I also like it. There are some complaints that it's not as modern as other competitors, but to me, I think this is a nice development tool.
They release this file-based apps soon, so we will start utilizing it, for example, on my project again, because it can work, as you mentioned, very nice with Aspire, and Aspire can simplify and significantly improve development experience on the projects where there are a lot of repos, services, microservices at all, and when you have some complex setup to run it locally, it simplifies a lot of things, and on some of our repos we started to utilize async, and it works pretty well, especially with Azure emulators like Azure Event Hub, Azure Service Bus, etc. Because you don't have to run against the real environment and all this complex settings setup, etc.
Okay.
I also want to add one thing about the Visual Studio. From my perspective, it turns out to be a bit more community-oriented. Because the main developer of it, Mads Christensen,
That's
yeah,
Christian. Yeah, that's
Mads,
Christensen.
you are right. So he's heavily posting in the Twitter or
Yeah.
X network, and he hear the vote of community. So, for example, he created a new heavily asked blue theme or new feature that was asked directly here, directly in the Twitter. So
we
it's
can
really cool.
literally we can try to influence on the future of the
Yes,
Visual
yes.
Studio.
Of course, the
Like,
features appears quickly in the Visual Studio Insiders,
yeah.
but to be honest, I'm still using Insiders version, so it is working fine. I didn't install the official release. I'm still using it, and pretty satisfying to have new features very, very quickly. So literally once per 2 weeks, they're delivering some new features or some enhancement.
Yeah.
For me, small but significant enhancements of Visual Studio 2026 was that I can be not afraid anymore of misclicking on Visual Studio to run it, because it runs as fast as Visual Studio
Yeah.
Code for me. It just opens
Yeah.
right away, starts it parsing, and you're here. Like you can use it pretty smooth.
I saw somewhere that the previous Visual Studio runs so slow because it didn't utilize all the CPU to run. It was like basically single thread run or something like that, or one CPU run. So this one can utilize all your cores of your CPU, and that's why it runs so fast. So maybe they also reduced some of the legacy. That also helped a lot, but the runtime definitely improved significantly. Okay. So, Artur, what was your pick? Well, I think I know the answer.
For me, was this year I started starting writing articles
Yeah.
in our community related to AI and some stuff. Here's one as a sample of my article related to handoffs functionality in Visual Studio Code and how you can create it and etc. So, and I believe this year we can name it like a year related to multi-agent systems, because a lot of guys would like to utilize this stuff in AI. Moreover, Microsoft introduced their Microsoft Agent Framework. So in this
Which
case,
is like very convenient way to build systems where you have different agents doing like separate things, and you can connect them, build a complicated flows, and that could be a part of your like backend logic. So it is like really a way to utilize agents as a backend. So very convenient, programmatic way of doing that.
Yes, but it's not new for Microsoft because they just merge two existing frameworks from their side, like AutoGen and Semantic Kernel Agent Framework, but they try to simplify logic for creating agents, etc. So it just shows us that you can use a multi-agent system in more simple ways than you did it before in AutoGen and Semantic Kernel. And I believe it's like good stuff.
Yeah, and the articles that you produced, Arthur, they are really nice ones. So if you folks want to learn something new about Gen AI, about agentic development, it's really worth to go through the articles that Arthur created, and I believe in the next year there will be more from Arthur. Really, really nice things here. Okay, so for me, I was really, and I'm still under the impression of our experiments that we made during our community event. So we had 3 sessions where we tried to utilize GenAI capabilities and agentic development to build a new functionality or enhance an existing application to get some results. And as I've mentioned, we had 3 sessions, very different ones with different results. It was a very nice experiment showing the reality. And I'm really happy that we did that. And the results, I think, that allowed us to think about the future of the development and the way how the GenAI may change the way how we are crafting the software. So we have the recordings. If you missed some of those sessions, you can go and watch. Not everything went really smoothly on those sessions. They are quite long, but still worth to spend some time, and maybe you can improve the speed of the video and just get some sense of how we passed this exercise. Okay, Alexander, what were your picks?
My pick is 2 Cloudflare outages that we had last year, recently in the end of the year, right? Which kind of broke entire internet kind of things,
Yeah.
right? So I remember that first time I started to see. Yeah, let's start from very beginning. So we need to send a respect to Cloudflare. Respect and disrespect in the same both, right? But let's talk about the respect, because they're posting these post-mortal articles with explanation why and what happened. So they're kind of open to community to explain what's happened, what is actually happening. And in the first situation, the errors came from the kind of brand new re-implementation of their proxy service implemented in Rust, right?
Mhm.
So I'll try to quickly explain what went wrong. So they have some pipeline of processing some traffic right through the service. And one of those steps that they have it is a bot management step. They're trying to figure out what is this bot about. Is it good bot or a bad bot, right? And they try to filter them. To filter them, they have a bunch of rules, which is stored in the ClickHouse, and usually amount of rules not more than 200, right? So one day on November 18, the people decided to change access, write it into one table in the cloud, in the ClickHouse, right? So, and after that, people who is executing query started to see additional data, in the database, right? So, and if you scroll down, probably you or up,
Okay.
you will see the actual query that
Yeah, I saw
they're
it. Yeah,
doing.
it is. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, and this query is working fine because it was supposed to people have access only to default database, but after access right was changed, they started to see additional system database from R0 partition, and the amount of data returned by this request is kind of, was twice big than it is expected. So the Rust code had a fixed limitation. It's not a Rust code. They put this limitation intentionally, so just to not allow a lot of consumption for a lot of memory, right? And when they started to receive this so big configuration, Rust code detected it, but it was not correctly handled in the Rust code, because if you scroll down, you will see that they have a unwrap method call for Rust result. It is the last line.
Yeah.
highlighted. So probably it was not well tested or so, or someone promised them that it will never fail or something like this. But anyway, they call this unwrap, and unwrap it is a hard fault, right? And after that, the people started to see 500 errors. The complexity of this outage was why it takes about 6 hours to fix, because they had a kind of flicking, because the services was fixing and after some time started to fail again. Fixing and started to fail again. It is because the update of this configuration was not a kind of explicit one-time operation. They're kind of sharing them across of nodes, and some of them started, was recovered, and some of them started to fail again. Kind of just in a few words, probably. And another outage, it is a outage that happened in the old implementation of their service, which is Nginx plus Lua. And this time it is a runtime error. So they was trying to fix known issue in the React applications, and they decided to analyze a bit more body of incoming requests to, to completely fix the known issue in the React application. So they increased the entire buffer where they're pre-saving this data to analyze. But it turns out that their internal tools does not support this big buffer. And because of this, they decided to just disable this utility because it is not involved in the actual data processing. And then it turns out that if you'll find the code example somewhere in the article, you'll see that they disable it. They disable it actual feature, but in the body deal, they're still trying to reach out the data from not existing element in array. So it is out of array kind of exception or something like this runtime error. And yeah, that's why we had error next time. This outage was kind of short, about 25 minutes. But anyway, we had it.
It's not the first one related to React. Actually, previously they had another one when they implemented code on their own front-end pages where they misused useEffect hook, and it caused DDoSing from their clients because it was running in an endless loop trying to update some dashboard, and they DDoSed their own servers with their own front-end clients.
React blew it up entire internet. Boom.
Yeah. Very dangerous technology.
That's very interesting that even such a kind of reliable companies that responsible for running it half of part of the internet still fail. And it was not only Cloudflare. We had also a big outage in Microsoft Azure related to their front door service, which is very heavily used. Was it this day when it was it this year when AWS also?
Yes.
Yeah,
Previously,
okay, so,
like
yeah,
2 weeks before that was Amazon.
okay, yeah. So like that's very interesting. So the last part of the articles. So we have 2 Advent calendars for developers in case if you have some free time during the holiday season and you want to do some coding exercises. This one, Advent of Code, I think they publish the new challenges every year. So this year we have, if I'm not mistaken,
12.
only 12 days, right? So for each
Yeah.
day you have some exercise to do, and
I
you
would say
can.
this year, at least first 6, they're not so complex as in the past year. So probably you need to spend just a few days to solve them correctly. Why first 6? Because I solved only first 6,
And then you were out of time,
yeah.
free time, because of the holiday season. Okay, and this one, it's about the learning agents, right, Artur?
Yes, from Google.
This is from Google. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Because a lot of stuff related to creating an account in Google and using Gemini. Yeah.
But is it useful? Will you get some?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah,
It's all Gemini
I didn't try.
Gemini based, right?
Yes, and also I believe at the end they showed like the last protocol that they introduced Agent 2 UI and previous days, like previous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one 15 December.
December 15th.
And actually, Agent 2 UI is quite interesting idea from my perspective.
It's like a new protocol they introduced recently, but we have a lot of similar stuff related to AG UI protocol, etc. And Microsoft already have, I believe, partnership with this, and they try to use it in Microsoft Agent framework.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gemini 3, by the way, looks really promising. I played a little bit because you can do that just when you're doing a regular Google search. You can switch to AI mode and you can then drill down into your problems. And I think it's Gemini 3 based, this agent search. Did you try, Phil?
Was it Pro or Flash? Because Flash was
I don't
released
know.
recently.
I don't know. If you just go to google.com, okay.
Yeah, Flash
And,
was
then
introduced.
Here, I'm talking about this one. It's Flash.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm asking. Right. So, okay, so we went through all the articles, and the last thing that we want to do, we want to recognize the person who visited like probably most of our events over the year, the most active participant of our community. Olga, can you help me with that?
Yeah,
Let
for
me
sure.
guess, Volodya
Yeah.
again.
No. Not
Yeah,
this
we
time.
can compete here also, and with me also.
It was not
Kemal,
paid.
I'm suppose I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and I'm trying to find Kemal among our participants. I suppose. Oh my God, maybe he has already switched to some another meeting because I saw him at the very beginning of our today's event, but now I suppose, that Kemal switched for another call.
So we exceeded our time limit, so probably he has a daily stand-up or something like that. But we saw him in the beginning of the session. So Olga, you can mention him in the chat, and we can contact him in person. There will be like a small gift for him for his activities, and I hope next year we will see him with the same frequency. But you folks can compete with him, and it shouldn't be Kemal
we
next
have
year.
13 events this year, and Kemal participated in 10 of them. So it's the most, it's the biggest number among
it's even
our
more
participants.
than you did, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we laughed yesterday on this case that even it's more than in which I participated. Yeah, so we will bring special gift for Kemal. So guys, you also can participate for the next year. Try to visit in all our events of our community. And nevertheless, thank you so much for being the part of our community, because Kemal participated in the most of events, but we have a very large list of people who participated in 9 of 13 events and in 8 and so on and so far. So thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you besides us.
Yes, thank you so much. Big thanks for joining our community events. And so before we wrap up, so would we like to wish something to our audience? Do we have some wishes?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
Okay. Alexander.
Yeah, good luck. I wish you good luck.
Okay. So Arthur.
Happy Christmas and New Year.
Okay. So I wish everyone to stay flexible, but at the same time keep critical thinking, especially when you're trying new technologies and etc. You definitely need to try, but be critical in the results and the outcomes. this is like a truly engineering mindset. Okay, thanks everyone, and I hope you will enjoy the holiday season and see you next year. Thanks.
Yep,
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Bye bye.